These megaprojects seemed good in theory, but today remain unfinished. On this episode of Built a Billion, unforeseen circumstances and economic downturns forged this list of the biggest megaprojects that were never finished. And make sure you finish this video because you won't believe the state our last megaproject on the list was left in. If you love to hear about the latest megaprojects of the world, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Superconducting Super Collider. Also nicknamed the Desert Tron, the Superconducting Super Collider was set up to be the world's largest and longest particle smasher with a circumference of 54 miles and an energy of 20 TeV per proton. Any quantum physics buff, let us know what that means in the comments. Unfortunately, however, this project was doomed to fail. In 1993, after 17 shafts were sunk, 14.5 miles of tunnels were dug, and over $2 billion were spent, Bill Clinton signed a bill that canceled the project. Rising costs and poor management were blamed for the project's demise, but it's really believed that the end of the Cold War simply ended America's desire to demonstrate its superiority over Russia in science. You should only care about the mysteries of the universe when you have to prove that you're smart. Or else what's the point, right? San Francisco Shipyard. Developers tried to turn a nuclear site in San Francisco's Hunter Point neighborhood into an $8 billion residential megaproject. The idea was to have beautiful, affordable homes with views of the bay, complete with other amenities like restaurants in a spectacular locale. But there was that tiny issue of nuclear waste. There are lots of things that are deal breakers when looking for a home, and nuclear waste is kind of a big deal. So it got a tad bit awkward when residents started moving in 2015, and some land near the condos was deemed to be still contaminated with nuclear waste. All eyes were on the cleanup crew now, and lawsuits started zooming through the air from residents who claimed to have been exposed to things that would compromise their health. San Francisco has since stopped all development on the site, but we'll see in the next few years if we have any X-Men running around the Bay Area. Harmon Tower. Las Vegas is where you go to lose money, but I bet you never thought of losing it by building a 49-story tower just to end up destroying it. That's next level Vegas spirit. This is what MGM Mirage did when it spent $275 million on 26 floors of the Harmon Tower until 2008, when an inspection revealed that the steel being used wouldn't support the remaining floors. So in 2014, demolition began, with an actual earthquake stepping in to get rid of the building for them. Too bad $11 million was already spent to demolish the building. So next time you lose $100 down in Vegas, think about the Harmon Tower, and remember, at least you're not them. Palace of the Soviets. If it would have been completed in the 1930s or 40s as planned, the Palace of the Soviets would have been the largest structure in the world at 460 meters or 1,365 feet tall. It would have been able to hold 6 of the tallest American skyscrapers, and its Grand Hall would have seated 20,000 people. The unique design, topped off with the 100-meter statue of Lenin, would have been impressive, but will always lie in the realm of what if. Construction started with foundations being completed in 1939, right when World War II began. When the Germans invaded in 1941, the project was destroyed, and engineers and workers were taken away from the project to serve elsewhere. Along with this, the steel was used instead for war purposes, like fortifications and bridges. After World War II, Stalin lost interest in the building. I mean, it wasn't like he was on the statue atop the building. Awesome display of self-importance from a grade A dictator. Chef's kiss. Ujiapu. Did you think there would be a list on this channel without China? We all know China has a hard time coming up with original city ideas, and this next project was a proposed financial district modeled after Manhattan, complete with a Lincoln Center and institute that copied the Juilliard School. Construction on the $30 billion project started in 2009 with high-rise buildings and plans for a high-speed train to Beijing. But the project was deemed a failure before even starting and was abandoned in 2014. adding to the list of weird ghost town cities in China. Keystone XL Pipeline. The Keystone Pipeline's extension was put to a halt by politicians in the US. The pipeline has transferred oil from Alberta, Illinois to Texas since 2010, but the extension that would run from Illinois to Nebraska has been used like a hot potato from president to president. Barack Obama vetoed the extension. It was then approved by Trump and then again stopped by President Biden. The project was supposed to cost $8 billion, and it looks like it would need a consistent succession of conservative leadership to ever see a completion. Although being halted at only 8% completion, there are alternatives, like TransCanada, that envisions a $9 billion alternative to Keystone XL called Energy East. It would produce 1 million barrels to Canada each day. But the matter of this specific energy issue still remains a problem for America to solve. United States-Mexican border wall. The wall, the trademark of Donald Trump's 2016 election campaign. One of Trump's promises was to extend the border wall between the US and Mexico to cover 1,000 miles as part of his policy on immigration. Not only this, but he claimed Mexico would pay for it. Of course, Mexico collectively rolled their eyes and gave him nothing. So by the time Trump left office, the wall had only been extended an amazing 47 miles with a cost of $15 billion. The wall will not likely expand beyond this anytime soon, especially since Joe Biden has made it clear that he will not construct another foot of wall. Rio's Olympic Park. The 2016 Olympic Games cost Rio de Janeiro $13 billion with a subway line, port renovation, venue construction, and the $700 million Olympic Village. So, in order to make this money back, Rio decided to convert the area to luxury condos that could be auctioned off to private owners. Needless to say, this did not go as planned. At auction, only one of the condos was sold, which is a pretty bad impression, and by 2017 had only got rid of 7% of them due to the area being a health hazard. This is undesirable for the average citizen, let alone the would-be wealthy residents. Today, the site is for the most part abandoned and leaning toward ghost town status. China would be proud. What do you think about these construction projects that were never finished? Will they ever be finished? Let me know in the comments below. Part 1 of the biggest mega projects never finished is on the screen, so click that video on the screen to watch something you haven't seen. And thanks for visiting Built a Billion.